My name's Patrick Harbour. I'm a director for Harbour Jones. I think that the way we work is that we don't want to be the biggest, we don't want to be all over the country. We want to work with clients that share our value. So that we're a niche player, but we want to be the best in our field. To do that, we don't want control and command, we don't want dictates, we don't want a brand that says this is the way to make chicken soup. We recruit people that share our values, and our values are using local, seasonal, good food, cooked simply and tasty. So we may have 3 chefs that share those values that all make chicken soup differently, but that's fine so long as it's good chicken soup using free-range chickens, stock that's made on site, and tastes of chicken soup. I think our philosophy on food is keep it simple, keep it relevant. Saying that you'll hear me say a lot is don't gild the lily. You know, macaroni cheese is fantastic. It doesn't need tomatoes or mushrooms or aubergines or parsley. It needs good Montgomery cheddar, good organic pasta, made well, and it will sell. So food and people. Our suppliers are as important to us as our clients and the people that work with us. We treat them as part of the family. One of the key things for us was that we should treat them well, pay them promptly, but in return we get people who will go the extra mile for us. The other key thing and importance to us is that we focus on local people and seasons, and it's very topical at the moment, but we've been doing this for 5 years.
Harbour Jones are very aware and very appreciative of the fact we have great food in Britain, and they want to support our British producers. And so by coming to Borough Market, it's a great way for them to find out the producers, make contact with them, use, for example, their mutton from Andrew Sharp, who is a wonderful farmer from the Lake District. And I think Patrick and Nathan have really embraced what Borough Market is about, and it's very much what they're about. It's about, you know, great produce and bringing it to people. The charity who run Borough Market, they vet the people who come onto the market. So it's very carefully controlled, and it's very, the standards are very, very high, very impressive. And it's actually become a great sort of showcase, I think, for the sort of the new sort of gastro-patriotism that we're experiencing in Britain, where people discover, you know, we've got great cheese, we've got great meat, we've got great bread. You know, for years people sneered at our food, and actually we're making wonderful food. And so not only are people making great food, people want to try it and are prepared to come here and hunt it out and buy it. So it's very exciting, I think.
Neil's Yard is an amazing supplier to us. In some years ago, British cheese was, you know, it was cheddar, it was Stilton, and most cheese boards in most dining rooms and conference venues would probably include foreign cheeses predominantly. What Neil's Yard did was go and encourage farmers to produce the most amazing British cheeses, which we've always had but have not been very popular. And it's about giving people tastings. You can go to Neil's Yard in Borough Market, and they're always offering cheese to customers to try. They tell the story behind them, who it's produced by, and it's had a huge renaissance. You know, the cheese that we serve in our sites now, we do something called a traditional ploughman's, and we have truckles of cheddar, Stilton, jars of our chef's homemade piccalilli, bread from Flour Power, which is also a company that we work with from Borough Market. And there's stories behind these people. I mean, the London Bloomer, I hadn't realised, has 7 slices on the top of it, and that was to represent during the war years. 1 slice per day of bread was your quota. So there's great stories behind that, which our guys go on these tours, go on these farm trips, and can engage with the customers and tell them a bit of the background to the supplier and to the things that they're eating. We do far more volumes of teas and coffees and biscuits and beverage bites than we will boardroom posh lunches. So it's got to be the best coffee, but there's a lot of discussion on fair trade, and fair trade just means you're paying a fair price for something. It means absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the coffee. And the company we work with, Union Roaster, they go and source fair trade coffee, but they go the extra mile. They go and say, what does it taste like? And they hand roast the coffee beans. These guys are taking the coffee beans out, rubbing them, smelling them. No 2 sacks of coffee beans have the same amount of oil. And so they're specifically fanatical about the coffee that they make. They're the sort of, Jeremy, who's the owner, is like the Gilly Gordon of the coffee world. And he is as fanatical about his coffee and training our people to make the best coffee. And I do believe it makes a difference. And biscuits, I mean, one of the things we look to do is give what we call beverage bites. That how many people have been to meetings where it's the same old biscuits, shortbread and fruit biscuits that you indistinguishable. And what we'd like to do is offer 2 or 3 different things during the day. So it might be in the morning, you might have a little fruit kebab or a little tiny warm low-fat muffin. And in the afternoon, you may have a little more of a treat. It could be a chocolate brownie, a little mini scone, but something that just makes a difference and actually keeps people aware that, my goodness, this is a different venue. They're really thinking about what they're serving to us. Wines are important, and they are important in the sense that they have to be balanced with the food that you're offering. I think there can sometimes be, if it's a reception, for example, people assume you must have champagne, and obviously the best champagne is always the best, but there's an awful lot of bad champagne out there. And what we try to do is work with clients and say, well, if you have the money for good champagne, fantastic. If you don't, let's look at a Prosecco. Let's look at a sparkling wine. There's some fantastic Proseccos out there. And for certain environments, they can work on a warm summer evening nicer than champagne. We also make our own soft drinks, and some of the ones I remember as a child, I mean, ginger fizz, ginger beer, homemade lemonade, and these are very popular if they're made well. So they are, unwaxed, proper lemons that taste of lemons, and people love them. I think passion is a word that's overused by many companies, and what I say to our clients and customers is, come and see Harbour Jones in action. Come and see our people at work. That is passion. It's an enthusiasm doing what they want to do. They're smiling because they're happy. They're smiling because they feel involved. They're smiling because they're allowed to use suppliers of good quality. There's a choice. And they're doing what they want to do best, which is cook good food and serve exceptional standards to our customers.